Hi everyone, Emma here. So I'm going to show you how to put a clasp like this. This is a fold over clasp, but you can see there's some edges here that you can put the beads inside to put your clasp on. So I'll show you how to do that. So if you haven't seen, the last video showed how to make this design, and the video previous to that was a preview of all the different variations of that bracelet. So definitely take a look. One's I think 19 minutes and the other one's 30 minutes, so it's very quick. So the first thing you need to do when you're deciding on a clasp is decide what kind of clasp you want, and you basically can put just about any clasp on this, but then you have to alter your beads a bit at the end to fit them. So because I already knew that I wanted to add one of these clasps that have, this one might be a bit easier. You can see there's little bars in between these slots. So your thread can go around those bars to hold it in place. And they have those all the way around the clasp so that you can actually put beads all the way around or have your bracelet snug right in. So I really like these, and these are fold over. So there's the side that opens up and you just pop it open like that and it comes out. So it's pretty simple. And actually I didn't test the square one, which we should, and I should mention these come from AliExpress. They're super cheap. Sorry, they're a little more expensive than what I'm used to paying for, but they're not real gold, they're not real crystals, none of that. It's you have to understand what you're getting when you shop at AliExpress. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. So you should, when you get them, you should check them all. So this one I'm having a really hard time opening. So which is the case for most of them. So I should also mention that. Now, I am going to try this without scratching or crushing anything here. This one's quite small to get into. Let me see. Sometimes it's hard because it's not attached to anything and there's not a lot to hang on to. So I did get that one open. So I would open them, move this piece back and forth to get it nice and loose and then retest it. So here you can kind of see, let's take this piece off. You can kind of see that's open a bit. So that means this part here, there's like a bit of a circle. That's what this notch sits on. So sometimes you can adjust it by just squeezing this down and away from the piece. I don't know that I did anything for that, but so it's like that. Okay, so let's decide which one to use, and this is how simple it is when I'm looking at adding a clasp. Let's just bring this over here so you can see. Initially this was the one I was going to put on, and I take it and I just slide it in to where I think I'd like to add the beads. So this would look amazing. I look at the size in relation to the size of my bracelet. This is actually a better match than this one. So we could add that. Now the other thing you have to remember is the length. So you might want to think about this before you complete your bracelet, because this will definitely add some length. Now for these designs, for these in particular, the clasps really fit snug into, like I did an extra row here and then an extra one. So it fit the bracelet really well. So the only part that I added was maybe about a half an inch which was enough to give me kind of a loose bracelet on my wrist, which is what I want anyway. So think about that. So let's see what the square one. Now I like how the square one fits right in there. Just try. So that still fits too. And what we're going to do is when we add this, we could attach this from this piece here. But what I want to do is I want to add another Super Duo and have it angle over to attach to the bracelet. It's like to the clasp itself. So I think I'm going to go with this one. Now, the other thing is you're going to want to add some thread if you don't have a lot of thread on your bracelet. I purposely, this is probably about the 6th or 7th bracelet I made. So by then I knew I took extra long on the one side so I could add a clasp and any beads that I needed to. And this, you know, I made sure I had a long strand. This is actually probably more than enough on this side. So let's get a needle. I'm using a size 10 needle and this is green dragon thread. Size 6. Let's bring that through quite a bit. And then you're going to need some of your Super Duos that match. And you're going to need some seed beads. They don't necessarily have to match unless you're adding them to the outside, and that one's clogged. So yeah, you might as well stick with the colors that you have. This is size 15. Now, if it was this clasp, I would use a size 11 seed bead to go inside here because this is quite wide. But this one, you'll see, is very thin. So definitely a 15 in here to cover your thread when you're going through your clasp. And you don't have to do that either. You can put, I use French wire sometimes across, and you don't have to put anything. But I like to conceal the thread as well as protect it from any sharp edges rubbing on stuff. So if it's going through the beads, you're hoping that it's going to be okay. So I definitely don't need that many. Let me get rid of those. So, okay, so let's take a look at how we're going to add this. So let's slide a Super Duo in there. And a Super Duo in here. And the reason I'm doing this now is because I want to know where to put my thread and when to add these on. I don't want to have to go backwards too often. Slide it there for now. So that's going to go in there. And these are going to sit like that. So you see what I mean? See what I mean, Vern? Looks pretty good. Like that. So get that one to sit there. Something like that. Oh, let me enlarge this for you. Apologize there. So I think since my thread is coming out of the top part of this Super Duo, I can go through this one and actually go through the clasp and add everything at the same time. So as if I was adding another row of beads. So let's go through the Super Duo, go through the next Super Duo, like that. Now we're going to pick up the clasp and let me see where on the clasp this is going to sit. So if you look, the Super Duo ends. So I think the only reason you would decide whether to put it in the first hole or the second hole is so the hole to this Super Duo lands at the top of this hole, which means when you let go, it's going to slide down to the bottom. So I think I would put it over the second hole. I hope that makes sense. I kind of want to say just trust me. No, don't trust Emma. So now we're going to need a few 15 O's to go across here. So I've just flipped this over so you can see where how many 15 O's we're going to need across here. So let's put this here. We'll start with 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. So just grab them on your needle and slide them up. So I think probably 6 is enough. You could probably fit another one in there, but I'll tell you, I've done that on one of these and they buckle a bit. So, and I don't like the look of that, even though you're never going to see it. This one here, you can see how this bottom row kind of went rounded. Let me see how it looks on the other. Yeah, so that one is rounded as well. So it doesn't need to be that tight. It should look more like this. But again, these are all choices, so don't feel pressure to do it this way. So let's go through the top slot of that clasp. And so that's that. Here's the other thing too, with doing this bead situation, you might see the beads. Where'd they go? Well, they went over there. And we may have to use the shorter one, because this might get hooked. Yeah, I think it'll get hooked on your clasp. Okay, so let's switch this to the bottom hole. We'll have to just make sure it's secure. We can secure it. So here at the bottom, there's another spot with a bar in between. So when we come back around, we can go down somehow through there. Let's get out of this hole. Okay, so through the first hole, pick up the 6. I don't know if I'm in the right side here. Yeah. Okay, so we've got our 6 and go through the bottom slot. There. So there, that's going to sit nicely on the bottom. And then go through the next super duo. Pull this so you can see what that looks like. So that's fine, that should stay secure. Then a super duo, because we're going to put the super duo there. Go through this hole. And to turn around on this, you can add the 3 50 O's if you want. But if you want it the same as the other, where there's no 50 O's here, then you can go down this hole to turn around and then come back up. So let's try that, I think, because I kind of like it without the 50 O's there. But what I wanted to do was get this through here as well so that this stays snug. So maybe we should... Decisions. I'm the worst. So we're going to go through the first slot again, and we're going to come out so that we can go back through those seed beads. So let's get everything snug and tight like that. And that will turn in that way. Go back through these 6 seed beads, 50 O's. Like that. and then come out of that first slot, and we're going to go through the next super duo. Just bring everything down, snug like that. So yeah, you can see there is a gap there. Go through this super duo. There. Oh, it's not too bad. So now I'm just gonna go through this hole. So if you did have the, I guess we could put, yeah, let's do that. Let's put some 15-0s there, and that way you won't see the thread. I mean, I don't think you'll see the thread anyway. With it being green thread on gold, it's really hard to see, but we'll just keeping it even because we have them here. And then we can go down this hole. Oh, my other beads came loose. Tighten this. There. Go through this super duo. So now we're going to go through everything. Tangled. Okay. Let me squinch those guys in a bit. And go through the bottom slot. And if you can get through those beads, go for it. Okay. Let's see. Get those in. You could put, it looks like it wants to stay open a bit here. Let's see what it looks like on this side. So I think maybe we should put 15-0 in these spots. So I have to go back. Oh, I was over the bar. Let's take this off the needle. Get that off. Here, let's try this. I think the thread is staticky, so it keeps sticking to me. Makes it a little harder to work. Okay, so we should be able to pull this out. Our beads are all going to fall out, but that's fine. It's going to make a big difference on how it looks. So I actually put one or two. I might put two. I'd hate to put one and then get all through everything and then realize there's still a gap. No! So let's get back in here. Pick up two 15-0. So you can see I'm coming out of that top hole of the final super duo. We're going to go through the hole and through the beads. That looks good actually. So pick up two and then through the super duo like that. Then we're going to pick up three and we're going to go down this hole. And through these guys like that. Oh, that we didn't add those two. Darn it. Sometimes this happens. And part of it is each clasp I feel has a different way of adding, and especially this design being so different. And it looks like I went through, poked through my thread, so it's cutting it. That is weird. Wow. Yeah, it's clearly cut through the thread. Okay. We're going to try something different. So that's not going to work without me having to cut my thread all off. So let's, when we come back through, we're going to go through the, so what happened was I forgot to go through the bar. So these two beads are sitting up on top. So what we're going to do is when we come back through, we're going to force them through by going through it and through the bar. Put this on here. Okay. So I can't remember which way I was going. Let's try this. And come down to these two beads like that. So we're going to go through those, but now we're going to take it down through the bar and through the beads inside the clasp like that. There. So there is quite a bit of a gap. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go down another set of beads. I definitely want this sitting nice and snug in there. So let's go through the bar and through this super duo here, like that. Let's go through this one and this one. Actually, we'll go back out of this one because we want to go down a few super duos. So I feel like we need to go down this one here and through the cabochon, like that. Then through here. And now we should be able to get our thread in there, yeah. So let's slide this guy down a bit, right there. Go through here. So I'm just wondering if I can use these same seed beads or if I should add. So it's in the clasp. Go through those beads again. The clasp is so small that those beads don't quite snug all the way down. So my needle doesn't want to go through the bar. So that's, if we tug that, that should pull it down a bit. Okay, go through the bar. There. And down through this bottom super duo. Let's see how much that pulls us down. There. That's exactly what I wanted. So now you can see it nice and snug. Let's go through that a few more times. So let's go down one further here. Go through the cabochon. That. And let's go up this one. Might have to take it to the front. And go through the bar and through the beads. It's there's not enough room to get through those beads, I don't think. No, not with this needle. So let's just go through the bar, move here, and then we'll tie this off. It's getting hard for me to see. See if I can get my needle out here. There we go. Let's see if we can do this a little better on the next one. So I'll come down to here. And I want to bring my needle out so I can tie a knot. There. Just bring my needle around. Bring it around once and twice. Oh, this. I really like the tulip needles, but this idea of the thread coming off all the time is annoying. I had quite a long tail through and it just. And I just needed to go through that cabochon. I also need to get my glasses fixed. So I got brand new glasses and they do this all the time. They say, you know, let us know if they're loose and just come in and we'll adjust them for you. So they always have to adjust, and I have progressives, so if they slide on my nose, I can't see because the area that the glasses is working for is actually out of whack. So that is that side. That looks amazing. So let's do the other side. We can get rid of this thread. And let me, I'm trying to decide if I need a bead there. Just pull this off first and we'll decide after. Okay, so we did add a few beads to get the square in the right spot. So we could add an outside super duo. Sorry, let's get this so you can see. So something like that on the edge. Like something like that. Yeah. So let's get this guy on. And then we're going to go through the bottom hole of the clasp. We're going to pick up 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. thread came off. Wow. Okay. I'm not liking the tulip needles as much as I thought, but it's probably just because I'm using too big a needle for this. So I should be using thicker thread. Okay, so we picked up a super duo, then go through the clasp, go through here, hang on to your thread. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then go through the other slot, the other side, get your beads in there like that. So I put the super duo here, but actually I think I want it going this way. Get out of here. I think we'll add our super duos on at the end. So let's go through bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 50 no's. And then go through the other side. Okay, set like that. Then we're going to go through these two super duos and we're closing them at the same time. So in the previous tutorial, I was mentioning how your bracelet will end, or how we started where they were open. So now we want to add one of these guys. Let's add it and see where my thread's coming off again. Add it and flip it there like that. So now let's take 3 50 no's like this, and then go through the clasp and see if we can get through these 6 11 O or 50 no's. So we gotta tighten everything here. So to tighten this super duo, you want to pull on those beads to bring them out there like that. Okay, and go through the side here. And I'm going to go down through here and up through the other one. I'm trying to get this one oriented properly. Let me see. So I maybe should have put a couple of, 50 no's there. Make sure. Phew. I was worried that I poked my thread again. So let's go through these guys. Hook this. Come out. Come out, come out, wherever you are. Okay, let's add 2 here. 2 50 no's and then come through everything. Okay, let me get this. Pull that, pull through here. There, that's better. Go through the bar. I keep moving slowly over because my tablet ends on that side so I can actually see, because otherwise I can't see. It's so awkward. I don't know. I gotta start practicing doing this a different way. Okay, we're gonna add, and we're not adding anything to these guys. Let's bring this guy up. There. Okay, let's kind of move, jiggle things around. Okay. Pick up a Super Duo and 3 50-0s. We're going to slide it down. We're going to go through the second hole of that Super Duo we just added, like that. And then we're going to add 2 50-0s. And let's see if I can get that down a little snug. There. And go through the bar and through the 6 seed beads, like that. And there, look at how nice that is. That makes a huge difference. So I apologize for all the little, not necessarily mistakes, but fiddly stuff. But the reason that happens is I was trying to get it so that it was snug. It makes a huge difference. It looks like the clasp is part of the bracelet. So this is a bit loose. I think we should go through. So let's come out here and go through those 2 15s. There, that's actually tightening it up. Let's go through these 3 here. We'll have to do a few at a time. And then through here, that. And we can go through one more time. I don't know that my thread will go through those beads. The thread will probably do it, but I think the needle's too big along with the thread. Let me see. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. So let's just bring the thread through. And I'm just going to turn it a second here so I can get through the side and go through these 2 beads on the side and through the Super Duo like that. There. Down these 3 on the Super Duo like that. And now we're going to find a spot to tie it off. So we're going to go through these Super Duos and actually I'm going to go down a little more to keep it snug and go through here. And I'm going to hide it in the cabochon. Let's do this. Bring our thread through, our needle through. Pick up that thread bridge like that and bring it down. Make sure you don't cross over the bead because you'll end up with some thread showing. Not a big deal if it happens. It's on the underside, but and go through here. Let's weave this in a little bit. And when you pull this, it snugs it and it tightens the knot as well. So actually, I think I'm going to cut it there. So there is the clasp for that. Now, does that not look amazing? So I'll find the link to these clasps and I'll put it in the description. Yeah, it's definitely worth having a bunch of these guys on hand. They're amazing. They are a little expensive and they're not, they're not Swarovskis, they're not real gold, none of that. It's costume jewelry. So, yeah, I just wanted to make that clear because I know people had asked if I was concerned about buying stuff on AliExpress being authentic, and I buy stuff on AliExpress knowing full well that they're not real stuff. But a lot of the class we use, they're not, unless you buy from say Tierra Cast where you know exactly what metals are being used. It's really hard to know. Some of the bigger companies like Beetalon and stuff like that will also have an explanation of what metals are involved. So there you go. Thank you for hanging in there. You can see this took 41 minutes. I'm amazed that I finally figured out that I have to put the class on in a different video because 45 minutes for a clasp. The bracelet took me a half an hour. It doesn't make any sense. There you go. Take care, everybody. Enjoy, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.